So welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us today for the virtual session of the All Interns meeting. Um, so let's go through. First of all, congratulations on securing your summer internships. We know you've put a lot of effort into your application process and you're preparing all of your onboarding tasks. So again, today we'll go through all of the requirements that are required from you as an intern and all the resources that are available to you to prepare for the internship. In terms of a few housekeeping items, so today's session is recorded. You will be sent the recording and the slides after it is over. It is mandatory as an award recipient and if you are getting any kind of university-sanctioned recognition, so please do stay for the whole duration. If you have any questions, feel free to send them in the chat. We'll take a minute to address the questions after each speaker, and then we'll have time for a larger Q&A at the end as well. So the main goals for today, even though we're virtual, is to get to know each other, give you a better presentation of the Arts Internship Office and our services, and also to clarify the requirements and responsibilities as an intern. You're all already familiar with the handbook, but we'll break it down a little bit further, and we have some wonderful speakers today to talk about different aspects of the handbook, like the safety abroad requirements, Paulina from University Investment to talk about the philanthropy at McGill. As well, you'll get to meet your workshop facilitators, Ellen and Antoine. And finally, we'll share some resources from Kiki and OSVRSE staff. And as I mentioned, we'll have time for questions at the end as well. So first of all, get to know each other. Most of you have already maybe met me or at least have exchanged a couple emails at this point. But I was once in your shoes as well as an intern almost a decade ago now. But I was an award recipient and an AIO intern as well with organizations like Etiquette, as you can see. So all that to say, even though I'm now the manager, I was once in your shoes not that long ago, and I understand everything that comes with the internship process. So feel free to always come to myself and our staff if you have any questions or concerns, which I will repeat many times during this presentation. But yes, so just so that you get to know us a little more. So at the David M. Culver Center Arts Internship Office, we have also student staff that are here today. We have Haya, Cici, and Maria, who are all also past interns and current students. So once again, they're also here to give you all the resources that you need to do your internship. And they're going to be here, and other staff will be here throughout the summer. We're open from May to August, apart from the statutory holidays we'll be closed for. But just so that you know, we'll be reachable throughout the summer. We don't close. So you'll be able to reach out to us if you need. Your turn. So since we're virtual, ask that you just quickly send in the chat message with the name of your internship, the location, either the city or country, and if you want to share what you're most excited or nervous about as you get ready for your internship. We'll give you a minute to send that in the chat to help us know who's here with us today. Again, when we were in person, we asked who's staying in Canada, who's going abroad. I know some of you are already on exchange. So again, it will also help us know what to focus on during the presentation. So if you can send in the chats. Great. So we already have a good mix of Chile, Vienna, Montreal, Ghana. So a bit of everything. Toronto. Amazing. Thank you, everybody. Great. So continue to send us your introductions. And then we'll get to the roles and responsibilities as explained in the handbook. So the main roles and responsibilities for our office are, some of you have secured your internships through our partnerships. So our office is responsible for building and maintaining those partnerships with host organizations. During the summer, we're here to provide support to both the students and those organizations. And we also give you a number of internship preparation resources. In terms of your responsibility as intern, all of those pre-internship preparation when it comes to immigration, insurance. Again, a lot of the advice I will give today is general, but you'll need to apply it to your own situation, whether you're staying in Montreal, if you're from Canada, if you're an international student staying in Canada, whether you're going abroad. Again, all of these situations are really unique to your situation. The completion of the internship, again, as much as we're here to support you, it is your responsibility to make sure that you complete all the hours, to make sure that you communicate during the internship, and to complete all the follow-up responsibilities. So the handbook, I'm sure all of you have already read through it at this point. I did want to mention, in case you have an older version, we do update it as we go. Again, there won't be any major changes, but we add some corrections and update it throughout the summer. So we updated a version again just on this week. So make sure to go on the website once in a while and make sure that you have the latest version. And you can always download it on our website under the resources tab. And then if you scroll down, you'll find the handbook. Too long didn't read, although please do read it in its entirety. Just the main things to remember to take away from today's session, things that could get you in trouble. Not responding to emails. Again, there are a certain number of deadlines and requirements that are mandatory, but the main, if ever anything happens, it's really just to send us an email and to respond to the emails that we send you. Again, if you don't send the required documents on time, if you don't attend events, as long as you communicate with us, things will be okay. We'll touch on the travel requirements, but if there are any changes to travel advisories, if you're outside of Canada, you want to keep an eye on that. And once again, communicating issues early on, not waiting until it's too late. And once again, completing all of your internship hours is very important based on the date and the duration that you set at the beginning to make sure that you complete all of those hours. So in terms of the categories in the handbook, it's broken down in two categories, so award recipients and then all interns. So just to clarify, award recipients, if you got the internship through one of our partnerships, or if you found an internship on your own and then applied for an award, you're both in the group of award recipients. In that case, you have to complete all the requirements, pretty much all of them. So all interns requirements and the award recipients requirements. If you are getting university recognition through academic credits or student experience record, or if you had a déclaration signed, you fall under the document request category. So you only have to do the all interns requirements, not the award recipients if you're not receiving an award. So hopefully that's clear for everybody. To try and help differentiate it, we've created two separate checklists. So again, all the requirements we'll talk about today are listed on this checklist. And just to note that we made one for award recipients and one for people who are not getting an award. So to talk quickly about the different ways that you can have your internship recognized by the university, aka University-Sanctioned. In case you are getting an award and you would like to have these other kinds of recognition, it's possible to have multiple of them. So the internship course for academic credit, the student experience record, and getting funding through awards. So if you are getting an award, you're automatically sanctioned by the university and you're recognized by the university. But I will talk a bit more about the other two. So the first one is the internship course for academic credit. So you can get credit for doing an internship. Since there's no co-op program in the Faculty of Arts, you're not getting credit just for the internship. It's really much more of a research course that you take when you come back in the fall. Certain departments offer the course, but not all of them. So if you check on our website, you can see the list of departments that offer it. And also to keep in mind that each department has their own selection criteria. Some of them have a GPA requirement, others a year requirement. So you want to make sure that you do qualify for the course if you are interested in it. And in terms of the registration, the timeline, you have to register before you start your internship. You would need to get approval from our office in terms of the internship, and then you need to find a professor to supervise you. And then the department also has to approve on their side. So it can take a bit of time, and you need to find a professor. And then you complete your internship in the summer, and then when you come back in the fall, that's when you do the course and when you would get the credits in the fall semester. So it's not possible to do the course in the summer while you do the internship. It's really something that you would do in the fall, and it's once again more of like your academic reflection based on what you did during your internship, but it's not just credit for the internship. So it's an option, it's not a requirement. And if you're interested, we have the link here. Once again, we'll be sharing the slides with all the hyperlinks. And you can always send us an email or come to our office to ask any questions about that. Then we have the student experience record. So if you think about it, the academic credits, you have your official McGill transcript that has all of your classes. So the student experience record, it's an alternative to that transcript to show everything that you do outside of the classroom. And it can be sent, it's an official McGill record, and it can be sent directly to future employers or grad schools. And it's a similar process where you apply before you start the internship, you complete the internship, and then once it's completed, then you have the official recognition on your record. And what you get also by getting the student experience record is we provide you with a letter saying that the Faculty of Arts officially recognizes your internship. And you can use that letter to apply for an EO bursary, which I will talk about in a second. Very important to note that for all of these requirements, you need to send a letter of completion for any internship that is recognized by the university. But again, you can get credit or you can get the student experience record recognition until we receive your letter of completion. So to keep in mind that this is a very, very important requirement. So if you apply for the student experience record recognition, it's a mouthful, we give you a letter, and with that letter, you could apply for funding. So whether you have applied for an awards through our office or not, you could apply for additional funding through the Scholarship and Student Aids Office. They have a bursary called the Enriched Educational Opportunities, aka EO bursary. It's only for undergraduate students. It's for every faculty, but in our case, we can only recognize Faculty of Arts students. You need to demonstrate financial needs, which is determined by the Student Aids Office. So it's completely confidential. The only thing that we do is that we approve of the internship. Again, we give you that letter through the SER process, and then you can bring that letter to the Scholarship Student Aids Office to apply for this other bursary. Once again, you need to get the letter of recognition before you start your internship. And then in terms of the timeline to get the bursary, they're a bit more flexible. You can go, I think they prefer also before you start the internship, but yeah, then you can bring it to them, and then all the steps to apply is like through the Minerva financial aid application process. And you can talk directly to advisors in the Scholarship Student Aids Office for more information. Once again, that's all on the website, and you can contact us for more information if you're interested. Also, just to mention, if you are an award recipient, you're already receiving funding, you could still receive additional funding through that process. So we really recommend all students to explore that option. Travel and safety. So we'll have in a minute a presentation from the Safety Abroad officer. Before we start, a disclaimer, a big red disclaimer, to say that our office is not able to give any official medical, legal, or visa advice. So once again, these are very important requirements, and that's why we make sure to address them in today's session. But once again, to make sure that you use all of that information, apply it to your own situation. And but yes, again, they are your responsibility, but we try to give you as many tools as possible to make sure that you have all of your bases covered. Who does not need to follow travel requirements? If your internship is completely in Montreal, or if you're doing an internship that is 100% remote, meaning you might be going home outside of Montreal for the internship, but you are at no point going to the office location. In that case, you would not need to do the travel requirements that we're going to talk about in a minute. However, if at any point, if you are in Montreal or if it was completely remote, but then you decide to do a conference or any activity that's linked to the internship that requires travel outside of Montreal or outside of Canada, then you would have to complete those requirements. So again, just to keep in mind, and if there are any changes of that nature, once again, please make sure to let us know, because at that point, the university is responsible for you while you do this travel. So once again, you would have to do those requirements. And if you decide to do any travel outside of the scope of the internship, so for example, you're abroad and then you want to stay a bit longer to go on vacation, or you're going on trips on the weekend, just to know that all of these trips are done at your own risk, and that the university is also not liable if something happens. And as we talk about the travel components, maybe you are doing an internship in Montreal, there are going to be some advice that is still relevant to you. So it won't be completely, yes, please continue to listen. So again, just to give a few very real scenarios that have happened to students in recent years of what to prepare for, because we might talk about like concepts like insurance that seem very broad and very boring and very not relevant. But again, insurance is what is here to help you if any of those situations happen. For example, your flight is canceled. You want to make sure you have air travel insurance, because if your flight is canceled, you can't go to your internship. That means you can't do your internship hours. That means you might not get your award, things like that. So a lot of very real consequences. Obviously, if you get sick during your internship, you want to make sure you have your medical insurance. You get into an accident. Who do you call? What do you do? Again, the last two are situations that have happened to some of our interns, unfortunately. You travel to a destination, you get there, and you're like, my apartment was a scam. Where do I go? I don't have a house to sleep in tonight. Or you go in the metro and you get your money stolen. So, all of those scenarios, again, to think of the worst case scenario and to plan for that. Again, we fingers crossed, none of that will happen to anybody, but to make sure that you are prepared for any scenarios before you start your internship. And I will now pass it on to Anna, who will talk about the Safety Abroad office and requirements.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Jade. My name is Anna Reinoza. I work in the McGill Abroad team as a Safety Abroad officer. And first of all, I want to say congratulations to all of you for the experience, the internship that you're about to leave. And I'm here to talk about McGill requirements before you go and other important tasks to be safe. So as you know, McGill has a policy and procedures on safety, and it is outlined in this policy that you have to comply with two requirements. The McGill Student Travel Registry, can you go back to the McGill Student Travel Registry and the pre-departure orientation. The McGill Student Travel Registry is for all students going outside of Montreal and abroad, and the McGill pre-departure orientation is only for the students going abroad. I know you have reached a point in which you have complied with both requirements, so that's an important milestone in your journey. Yes, next please. So the McGill Student Travel Registry, and I have to highlight how important this tool is because it's the way that McGill has to know where you are and to reach you if something happens. If there are technical difficulties, if you are not able to enter your information, you can always contact our office and we will be able to help you. But again, it is very important and it is mandatory. Things to keep in mind, remember that you have to log in at least once a month to make sure your account is active, and only McGill related travel should be entered in the travel registry. And finally, don't forget to set up the two-factor authentication on your mobile because that will ensure that you can sign into your McGill affiliated email account while you're away. And if you haven't done it already, I really invite you to explore the app and see the features and get familiar with those features because you have access, for example, to 911 equivalent emergency numbers. You have features like a friend walk that can help you to send your location in real time to a friend. And also pathways to the Wellness Hub, peer support, and other McGill services. Next, please. This is an acknowledgement form that you will find in the travel registry with all this information that we've been talking about, the requirements, your responsibilities. So make sure you read it, and that's part of the process of entering your activity in the tool. And travel outside of Canada. We have already talked about McGill requirements, the McGill pre-departure orientation, and the travel registry, but there are other requirements and other tasks that are equally important. For example, and Jade also mentioned this, it is your responsibility to research, verify, and submit the correct visa application for your destination. Likewise, you have to make sure you comply with the vaccination requirements and that you have all the medication you need uh, for your time abroad. And insurance, it is also mentioned in McGill policies that you have to have sufficient travel and medical insurance before going abroad. Stay in touch is very important, is a big part of your responsibilities. We talked already about the two-factor authentication that you have to have on your mobile, the registration of the Canadian with the Canadian government. If you're Canadian, and if you're not Canadian, you can still register with your home country. They have the Foreign Affairs Office usually have these kind of services, and to read the Canadian Government of Canada Travel Advice and Advisor, because that gives you very important information about your destination. Travel insurance. We have mentioned that this is mentioned in the McGill policy on travel McGill policy, excuse me. So you need to comply and make sure you have the sufficient travel and medical insurance. You should already have the travel insurance you need through the SSMU plan that is available to the McGill community. But if you have opt out, you have to make sure you have another insurance provider at the URAC cover during your experience. So make sure that you understand the exclusions such as pre-existing conditions, traveling against advisories, alcohol use, illegal acts, high-risk activities. Make sure you understand your travel insurance and that you have the information with you in case of need. And research and planning. Besides the travel advisories that we will talk in a bit, a little bit later, it is important to understand your destination. And many students wish they have had a clear picture of daily life before they go to live in another country. So you have to start with the basics. And for that, you need to use reliable sources. Also, you can consult the Student Safety Abroad website with that gives you tools like an emergency plan template and talk to you more about what is a cultural shock and the things that you might live while you're abroad. Again, understand your destination, and the Government of Canada offers many tools, many resources to really see the different aspects of living in another country, like housing, cost of living, and important information that will help you to adapt better once you arrive. Stay in touch and inform. Again, you will hear this over and over. If we cannot reach you, we cannot help you. And it is our duty to access our database and reach out to you in case of need, but you need to answer. So remember to be informed, and yes, to answer to our emails. We'll be in touch. We'll make sure. And I'd like to take a moment to talk to you about the 4 travel advisories that the Government of Canada has identified. And these are levels in which countries are classified based on safety and security. You have the take normal security precaution that we call level 1, and it means that you take normal security precautions just like you would do in Canada. Level 2, exercise a high degree of caution because there are certain safety and security concerns. Level 3, avoid non-essential travel means that your safety could be at risk, and avoid all travel of course, the government of Canada believes your safety and security are at great risk. And according to McGill policies, students are not allowed to participate in level 3, in activities in level 3 or level 4 countries. Mhm. So again, in order to be able to reach you, you have to make sure you set your two-factor authentication on your mobile. And for that, you can contact McGill IT team. They will be able to help you if you don't know how to do it. And well, just be safe and we'll stay in touch. Congratulations again and have a wonderful experience.
Thank you so much, Anna.
Thank you.
Just trying to remove grades. All right. So now to talk a bit more about, actually, I said I would take a minute to look through questions if there are any about the travel requirements. Um, there is a question of, do you need health insurance for internships within Canada if you're a Canadian citizen? You should have already coverage in Canada, but yes, you would also need to make sure you have coverage regardless of, again, that's why like each situation can be different. Like maybe you're a Quebec resident staying in Montreal, maybe you're out of province being in Montreal. So for each, we don't have the legal or like insurance advice for each situation because we're not insurance providers. But you can call your insurance provider. You can do research on your insurance provider to make sure that you have, again, even if you don't travel, to make sure that you have the coverage that you need, regardless of your destination or if you're staying here or not. Again, if you're an international student in Canada, you can go to ISS. So there's different types of resources, again, that are listed in the handbook or on the slides to help you find your providers. And if you have questions about, again, the coverage, you can always just call them and have like your proof of insurance ready with you. Great. I think those are all the questions about the travel requirements. Again, if you have any questions, you can always reach us, or Anna's email is also linked as safetyabroad@mcgill.ca. So thank you, Anna. And now we'll take a moment to talk about award recipients requirements. So I'll let Paulina introduce the Faculty of Arts Internship Awards and say a few words about philanthropy at McGill.
Thanks, Jade. Hi, everyone. Congratulations on this amazing achievement. My name is Paulina. I actually work in the development office here at McGill. And I've been working with Jade for several years in the Arts Internship Office. So I'm not sure, probably not a lot of you guys know, because as a student at McGill, I had no idea that there was anything called advancement at McGill. So basically, our role is really to build relationships with alumni, parents, and friends of McGill who want to support students and help strengthen the university. We're basically fundraisers for the university. And one of the clearest examples of the impact that fundraising for McGill has done is the Arts Internship Office. When I was a student at McGill, there was no Arts Internship Office. So it's really thanks to the support of our donors that the office exists. And a lot of you that have gotten an award, most of those awards are supported by our donors. So congratulations on that. Basically, with that support, without that support, a lot of you are the students would, you wouldn't have this opportunity. So what we really, 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 really love is when you write those beautiful, beautiful reports for the donors. They actually do read them. It's very impactful to them to see exactly where their support went. They love hearing your stories. They love hearing about your internship experience. And so it's super, super meaningful. So it's not just kind of like a fluffy piece that you're required to write. It's really, it's really impactful for the donors. So that's what we called stewarding our donors, and they love it. And we've always been super, super impressed with the students that have received awards before. So, so please just share your stories. And also, you have all been invited to the events, the awards reception for next week. And that's another important moment for stewardship. Basically, at these awards receptions, donors do come and you might get a chance to meet your donor directly. Not everyone gets to meet their donors because some donors are not obviously Montreal based, but even if you don't meet your own donors, you can meet other donors that can create other opportunities for you. So, so that's another really great event to attend and really show appreciation. And yeah, basically have fun on your internships. I guess I'll meet some of you next week at the reception. And thank you for being such amazing ambassadors for McGill.
Thank you, Paulina. Great. So about the awards reception. So again, some of you are on exchange. So in that case, you are exempt from attending. But if you are in Montreal and you're an award recipient, we really encourage you to come to the event. It's on Wednesday from 5 to 6:30 in the McGill Faculty Club, which is on McTavish, just a bit down closer to Sherbrooke. The dress code is business formal, not casual. And we'll be taking our annual group picture, as you can see at the bottom. So again, it's a celebration. We won't be going through requirements like we are today. And as Paulina mentioned, again, your donors are real people. Some of you are also getting awards through the Arts Undergraduate Society. And some of your fees go towards funding awards as well. But a lot of the support that we get are from, again, real people that are McGill alumni and I love to hear your stories. So once again, as Paulina said, write some beautiful reports and take some beautiful pictures so that we can share with both students and the donors. And that really helps the office continue to grow and offer more opportunities for future students as well. And yes, on Wednesday, you'll get to hear some welcome remarks and congratulations from Professor Lisa Shapiro, the Dean of the Faculty, as well as Michael Culver, after which we renamed the office. So you'll get to learn a bit more about that. And you'll get to hear from some past award recipients who are either graduating or already alumni, who will also share some words of advice with you. And once again, some donors will be in attendance, maybe not the one who funded your internship. You might also get opportunities to meet with your donor later on after your internship is completed. So again, thank you, Paulina, for explaining a bit of the whole cycle of the awards that help support all the internship awards. And so now to talk a bit more about requirements, hopefully this context also helps you understand why we ask some of these requirements from you. Again, just to know that everything that we ask is being used for a specific purpose. So most of you have already sent your award document submissions. You might get some emails from us in case you need to resubmit anything from your documents. Again, the internship dates, I'll mention it a few times, but it is very important to let us know if there are any changes to your internship dates because we use Excel and our big database. And so all the dates that I'll mention about the 2 weeks after your internship or within 30 days of the start, we have an Excel sheet that calculates it exactly based on the days that you submit to us. So we'll be sending reminders and emails based on that. So please be on top of those dates for your own internship. Again, hopefully the checklist can help you with that. But again, it would save us one email and it would save you one email if people can just make sure to be on top of all these deadlines. And again, the deadlines are really here to help you meet all these requirements and also for us to stay organized because there are 200 of you. But if ever you have any questions, or once again, communication is key. If you need a bit more time to complete a requirement, just please let us know and we'll be able to accommodate. For the consent form, I'll talk about it a bit more, but just to let you know that you can change your mind if you send it, if you already sent your consent form or if you change your mind about your consent, you can always send us a renewed form during the summer. About the Minerva direct deposit information, so as I mentioned about updating the handbook, there was a bit of a mistake on the handbook that I fixed. If you are international student staying in Canada, you do not need a SIN number. So you only need to make sure your address and your contact information are updated on Minerva. Again, all of these requirements, if it's not done, we won't be able to disperse the award to you. So they're all very, very important. And also for the direct deposit information, you don't need to fill the payroll information, only the first part with your bank information. Once again, make sure there's no mistakes. Make sure your address, if you're moving, make sure you update your address as well, because otherwise you won't get the award. The awards will be dispersed in mid-June and mid-July. We need to make sure that you register for classes in the fall, once again, to be able to disperse the award. So we'll be able to see on your transcript at the end of May whether you've registered for classes. So if ever you're going on exchange, please send us an email and to let us know that you're going on exchange. And if for whatever reason you're not able to register for classes, again, we wouldn't be able to disperse the award. So very important that you get in touch with us. The 1 month report. So just to explain the difference between the 1 month report and the final report. The 1 month, again, we kind of renamed it to not be 1 month report, but internship reflection form. So just to note that this will not be sent to the donors. This is really a confidential a check-in with our office and yourself, and also an occasion for you to reflect on your first month to see what's going well, what's going less well, and if there's any changes that need to be implemented, that you catch them earlier rather than later, and to make sure that you can have a great rest of your internship. So once again, the deadline for that is within 30 days of the start of your internship. Since you all have different start dates, make sure that you calculate that, again, 30 days to the T, because our Excel will do that. And it is required. So yes, please send it. And once again, it's confidential. It will not be shared with your host organization or any donors. And it's really an opportunity to mention any challenges that you're having, or again, start your reflection, which also will be helpful for you to do your final report requirements. The social media, the deadline is a bit more flexible for that one. We mentioned June 14th because it helps us process all of them and make sure we get to share them in July and August. If ever you have an early submission, we do welcome them. And if you start your internship later and you don't have any pictures by June 14th, you can send it a little later. But if you send it to us in August, there's no guarantee that we'll be able to share it. There is a form, again, that's linked on the handbook to send those content. It can be a photo or a video, and with a short caption that describes the highlight of your internship. And if you're receiving an award, you can thank the donor who funded your award. We're also trying a new concept, not that we're creating this concept, but we're trying to implement some day in the life as an intern, Instagram takeover. So if you're interested in doing that, send us an email and we'll send you some instructions. And once again, we do need your consent on the form to do that, to post any of your pictures on social media. So if ever you change your mind and you don't want to have your pictures on social media, you can send us an updated form. But yes, or vice versa, if you want to be on the social media, make sure you did consent on the form. Once again, the consent form, there are 3 main categories. So just to say a bit more about the first category, so website and print publications, that's mainly the award recipients page where you send us your bio and your headshot. So there's a possibility for us to just put the bio without the headshot if you don't want to have your headshot on the website. The social media, so our main platforms are Instagram and LinkedIn. So those will be, again, the social media posts that you share. Again, we're trying to move kind of like away from Instagram and more towards LinkedIn, especially for the Meet Our Interns post, because a lot of students, it's not as relevant to tag your personal Instagram accounts than it is to share on your LinkedIn account. So once again, if you put your link to your account, we'll tag you. And the final report and photograph. So For that requirement, to explain that, as Paulina was explaining, the main purpose of those reports is to be sent to donors, and that is completely confidential between yourself, our office, and the donors. So those don't have to be shared publicly. However, if you do consent, we would also use that report to share on our website as a story. A lot of you probably benefited from reading stories from past interns to know more about the internships. So again, if you consent to that, we will also share it on the story, but we would also need your consent. If you don't want it published on the website, we would need your consent to send to the donor. A note on the pictures that you should never have a large group picture or any group of a crowd where you're not able to get consent from everybody on the picture. So again, if you're in an event, etc., like try to avoid having anybody in the crowd. We would recommend 6 to 8 people maximum because you need to have a consent form for every person that's on the picture. So again, to avoid you having to do too much work, 8 consent forms is already quite a bit to gather. And if you submit a picture with other people on it, you need to submit the consent form for each person so that we can share the picture on our socials or on the website. Excuse me for a coughing break. No photographs of children under 18. If you work with children, make sure to not have anyone under 18 in your pictures. And reminder to take up to 3 high quality photos. If you send one for social media, you can reuse it for the final report. And we get a lot of questions about what kind of picture you should take. And if you're working from home, if you don't have any events or you don't have an office, like what picture you should take. Be creative. It can be a picture of you sitting down. You can look at our website to see what kind of pictures students have done before. But even if you're working from home, we do need pictures from everybody. So you can take I'm sure all of you have something to take a picture of, even if it's a selfie or, again, it needs to be high quality. And what we mean by that is the resolution needs to be good because, again, we print it on paper, or if we put it on the website, if the quality is too grainy, we won't be able to use it. So again, it's really the resolution needs to be high, not like the quality of your face. You're all beautiful. It's really the quality of the image. So we might ask you to resubmit a picture if the resolution is too low. Events and workshops. So congratulations, you already met the first requirement with the All Interns meeting today. For award recipients, you're welcome to the reception next week. And then we'll have a word from the workshop facilitators. I'll talk a bit about the check-in. And then after your internship, you have 2 events with the debriefing session and the Faculty of Arts Showcase. So before I pass it on to the workshop facilitators, I just wanted to give a bit of context about the MIG workshops. They were really created out of the need and the demand from students to have more training to prepare you for internships. And again, all of the challenges that you will encounter, we do our best to prepare you for them. And we really see we will always use the feedback, again, from the 1-month reports and the final reports and everything. Again, the office has been around for 20 years. So all of that feedback, we use it to create those workshops to make them as relevant as possible to students to help you, again, offer you all the resources to have a good experience. And they're strategically scheduled at the start of your internship. So the first one to give you the tools to prepare for your internship. And then the second one is a month for most of you into your internship so that it's more of a reflection exercise. So hopefully some of you will be able to bring some real life examples because right now some of you might be in finals, haven't started the internship, so it might be hard to think of what could possibly happen. And they are an essential part of your journey as an intern. Once again, they provide you tools and they will help you write, once again, your 1-month reflection and your final reports. We will take care of informing the host organization supervisors that we partner with to let them know in advance that you will have those mandatory events. But if you have an internship that you found on your own, please do let them know in advance that they are a mandatory part of your university recognition and let them know of the dates. Again, we give 2 options for each of them, so hopefully you can make it to one of them. None of it will be recorded and shared because they are very participatory. So please make sure that you are available for at least one of them. And yes, now I will pass it on to our wonderful facilitators who will present their workshop.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, great. Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Ellen from YES. So we are all so excited for all of you for your internships this summer. And So so I'm going to be giving a workshop on May 8th and 1st. It's the same workshop at lunchtime. Could you move the slide, Jade? Okay, so I work for YES Employment Entrepreneurship. It's a nonprofit that's in the Tim Hortons building on the corner of University and Sherbrooke. We're on the 7th floor, and I have a great view from my office of the McGill buildings. And at YES, we offer services in English to help job seekers or career changers or people who are not sure what career to pursue. We also help people who want to start or grow a business of any kind. And we also help people, artists, monetize their art. And we do this in person and online through workshops and one-on-one coaching. And we've been partnering with the Arts Internship Office for a long time, over 10 years, and it's been wonderful. So thank you, Jade. Could you put the next slide up? So this is the workshop that I'll be giving on the 1st and on the 8th. Make the most of your internship. So here we're going to be talking about supervisors' expectations of you, your expectations of the internship, and what is realistic and what isn't. We're also going to be talking about goals, mini goals, big goals that you want to get out of the internship. Because if we don't talk about it beforehand, or if you don't write it down, depending on your internship, the summer will fly by and you will not have worked on your goals. We're also going to talk about achievements, small achievements and big achievements at an internship, and how to track them, meaning how to keep track of them, because you can't forget about them. You have to be able to put them on your CV, cover letter, maybe LinkedIn, and so it's really very important that you keep track of them. So yes, through the workshop, we're hoping that you will have a very purposeful internship and a positive one. So we are also going to talk about what you're going to learn about yourself during the internship. As a worker, as a teammate, as an employee, meaning having a supervisor, you're going to learn about what you like and don't like about a job, tasks, expectations, and it's really fantastic that you have this, because it will help you decide on a specific career or not, like realizing that this is not the right direction for you. You're going to find so much out about yourself and what you want from your career from this internship, and the workshop will help you do that. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ellen. So once again, the workshop will be on May 1st and 8th on Zoom. So the link is in the handbook. So make sure to register for one of the sessions. And now I'll pass it on to Antoine to talk about the positionality workshop.
Hey everyone. So first of all, congratulations again. This is the best time of the year and the sun's out because you guys have amazing internships and opportunities. And I'm really here to help you through positioning yourself as an intern. And so just a little bit about myself. You may have seen my face without the mustache in a picture a few slides ago. I was once in Jade's position, and I also was an intern as well. I won an award, and back then we were like 13 recipients or 18 recipients in 2004. Old. So in any case, it means that I know what you've been through, but I've also seen so many issues come up. A lot of interns share things they were unsure of, reactions from their colleagues, teammates, situations, responsibilities they didn't know they had, or guidance they were looking for. Anything that makes you uncertain of what to do next is what we're going to discuss. This positionality workshop at first was set up for international internships, students entering new countries, new communities, and going through culture shock. But what we realized was a new bank, consulate, office in the city of Montreal, Houston, or Ottawa, it's still a new culture, a new place where you're entering a new community. And working with people that you're not usually working with is also important for you to understand where you stand, how you're perceived, and what you can do to, once you get that, know how to navigate the situations. And so really that's what we're going to work on. And what I love the most is that it's interactive. It's based on your experience. So you'll be most of you already started observing some kind of different relationships or patterns that are establishing that you want to share. Like my boss has been saying this, what should I do? And you can meet and talk with other people that have been going through it. And I'm also going to use examples that really happened, and we're going to do scenarios. So it's really engaging. I encourage you highly to come in person. On the next slide, we're going to see when these are happening. And so it's in my office, 550 Sherbrooke, really close to campus. I really hope you can make it to the in-person one. But if you're abroad, if you're just not able to come in person, there's going to be online as well. What I would hope is that you come prepared to discuss, share your experience. The big thing we've been saying the whole time is don't wait till it's too late. Well, I would say don't keep it to yourself. If something's happening, as small or as big as it may seem, you should share it instead of, no, it's okay, I'll deal with it. We'll be aware, we'll give you advice. And at the All Interns in-person event that we just did yesterday, I saw a student I thought I recognized. It's like, oh, 2 years ago, you did the workshop. It was really helpful. It changed my whole perspective. So humbly, I hope this is going to happen to all of you. Thanks for having me, and congratulations again. I'll see you at the workshops, but I'll also see you at the awards event. And shout out to the whole AIO team.
Thank you so much, Antoine. For the RSVPs, a lot of you might have already RSVP'd through the web form. If you want to RSVP for the in-person session, you can always change your RSVP. You just have to send us an email. And if you want to RSVP in person, you can send us an email for your RSVP. And again, we really recommend if you are in Montreal to come in person. First, Zoom fatigue is very real. And it's really great to be able to share in person. If you have to leave your internship a little early on that day to be there at 4:30, once again, please let your internship supervisors know in advance of that event happening. But once again, if you are abroad or if you are unable to come on in person, we do also welcome you to come online over lunch on Friday, May 29th. If you come online, I do recommend making sure that you are in a private, sometimes people come on their lunchtime and they're kind of like in an open space. If you want to be able to share your own experiences, we do recommend, finding a room, maybe a closed room where you're able to do the workshop, because again, it's not recorded, it's very interactive, and it's much better if you're able to make it your own and share your own experiences. But yeah, again, I think it's very impactful, and thank you, Antoine, for sharing that story of students' feedback, because once again, we don't, do these just to add to your already very busy schedule, but we've seen the real life impact, and I think it's very important, the things that might seem very small, or you're like, oh, I'm probably just overthinking that. Again, you're not alone. We have like 20 years of experience of other interns, again, both of us as well, who were in your shoes. And again, there's other interns even from this year's cohort that might be going through the same thing, or something that might seem very small as you're doing it, maybe like down the line is going to grow into something bigger. So that's why it's very important to address it earlier on. And next we'll be talking about resources as well that are available to you. If there's anything, again, that happens, again, big or small during your internship. Before we get into those, another quick word on emails. They're very important. You should at least acknowledge the email within 24 hours. So again, even if you don't have a final response, even if you need more time to do something, if you can just let us know and keep us in touch, it's very, very important. Again, the worst thing you can do is ghost us. Please don't do that. Use your McGill email. So once again, the two-factor authentication. If you don't have access to your McGill emails, that will be a very big issue throughout the summer for you to complete your internship. So make sure you have access to your McGill emails wherever you are during your internship duration. Respect office hour boundaries on site. So depending, again, some of you are in offices, some of you are in different kinds of teams. So it goes both ways. You should also be clear on when you're reachable to your supervisors. And for our office, again, we're open Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. We are closed on weekends, and then there's some holidays happening. So just to keep in mind, we also try to get back to you within 24 hours. But if we don't, again, just to keep in mind those office hours. And when to copy our office. So some of you have been keeping us in the loop about logistical updates. So if there's any changes to your dates or location, you don't have to copy us into every single email going forward. Like once you start the internship and you're just talking about day-to-day task, at that point you don't have to copy us. But again, if at any point there are any changes to the internship, please let us know. And once again, I'll say it again and again, don't wait till it's too late. Emergencies, I won't read through all of this, but just so you know, if anything happens, please be aware of what resources are available to you. Again, if the immediate response, our office won't be able to help right away, but we should be informed if anything happens. Safety Abroad is there for students who are outside of Montreal and outside of Canada. Once again, important numbers to have on hand. Please have those ready before something happens rather than when it's too late. It might be hard to get through those slides if you're in a car accident. Again, God forbid anything happens. But again, apply it to your situation where you are, what could happen in your situation. Again, is it an emergency? Is it not? But if there's something that happens and that you want to share. So now I will let the professionals speak about the resources are available to you, again, for your health and well-being during your internship. I will pass it on to Kiki to talk about the local wellness advisors.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. So thank you, Jade, for passing me the mic, and I hope everybody is having a wonderful sunny day. So I'm Kiki, and I'm a local wellness advisor. This title is spread around campus. So we are 20 on campus to support students. What does this mean? Basically, we're trained mental health professionals. In my team, I think it would be like 80% social workers. Personally, I am a nurse. And we are embedded in faculties and there to support students throughout their journey at McGill. We're a good first door to open, let's say, I don't know, either if you're struggling financially, struggling with your supervisor, struggling with some mental health issues or some symptoms that are bugging you, or you just want a sounding board. Our appointments are free, confidential, and you can book with us online. And so, yeah. So, and every faculty have local wellness advisor. So let's say me, I am for athletics and recreation. Athletics and recreation, I can see basically anyone on campus. And I have a little specialty for athletes. Currently, the art, Elwa, is away. So that's why I'm standing here today. If ever one person in art, they can all come to me because I'm a community Elwa. So yeah. All right. And then, yes, there's us, the local wellness advisor. We do have plenty of resources for physical and mental health on campus that are free and especially free and accessible for McGill students. So let's say you're in an internship abroad, and because us as local wellness advisor, we can only follow up with people in Quebec. So if ever you're abroad, we have a service of counselors that you register in as a McGill student. Is 24/7. It's available internationally, and it's also available in 60 languages. So if ever you would like to meet with someone that speaks your language, your first language, or you're more comfortable in French, for example, or in Spanish, they do have counselors that speaks up to 60 languages. It's online, and yeah. And then we have the hub counselor. So let's say we have the local wellness advisor, but then the hub counselor, we can think of maybe if you're having more of a goal, you're like, I'm really living with anxiety. I want to sort this out with a professional. So this you can book with counselors for free. By calling, you say, hey, I want a meeting with a counselor. Access advisor, it's a bit like Elwa's local wellness advisors. And we also have peer support. So if ever you just feel like chatting or like having a peer that maybe can understand your experience. I also, on the health side or mental health, I want to see like a doctor, or we have the student wellness hub. So it's also free all students at McGill, you need to call to have an appointment. And it's basically nurse's doctor. It's it's a GP clinic. We also have access to psychiatry, dietitian, sexologist, and this you can call to book an appointment. And if ever you're like, I really want to have like a health checkup, or I'm having a health issue that is worrying me and I want to see the doctor at the hub, at the student wellness hub, I couldn't get an appointment, I recommend you to also go to Maple and Dialogue online telemedicine. Sometimes with a few clicks, you get an appointment easier. So those are the services. They're free, and feel free to reach out to them if ever you need throughout your internship. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kiki. So once again, the local wellness advisor for arts is currently unavailable. So if you look on the website, you might not see someone, but Kiki very generously offered again to talk to you guys, and there are other advisors and again all these resources available. I think most of them you have to be in Quebec, right, to use, but again, the Guard Me and Keep Me Safe are available internationally. So once again, all of that advice to apply it to your own situation. I don't think there are any questions, but if ever, feel free to send them in the chat. Again, we're giving you the resources before you start, but make sure you have all of those on hand as you start. So once again, thank you, Kiki. And now I'll pass it on to Émilie to talk about the OSVRSE resources.
Thanks for having me, Jade. So hi, everybody. My name is Émilie. I use she, her pronouns. I'm the Associate Director at the Office for Sexual Violence Response Support and Education. Like some of the resources here, it's something we hope you won't be needing, but we really want to make it clear that it is available to all interns, whether you're in Montreal, Quebec, outside of Quebec in Canada, or internationally. So we provide confidential, survivor-focused, and non-judgmental support. So if anything happens in your internship, outside of your internship, but while you are in that internship, if you witness something happening, you receive a disclosure, you're uncomfortable about something happening in the realm of sexual or gender-based violence, which I'll describe in a bit, you are free to reach out to us. So like with the Wellness Hub services, it is free. We offer services in French and in English. So we're there to help you kind of work through a situation, understand, make sense of something, see what next steps you might want to take. And then there are certain services that we can only offer if you're in Montreal. So for example, looking at health and safety. So if you need to access medical services, if you need help safety planning with anything, we can really only do that more locally. I put to some extent the rest of Canada because if something fits under a criminal code, it is the same code across Canada, so we can help you navigate that. Referring to physical health services also is only locally. Assisting with accommodations might be more locally in the immediate moment, but might apply to you regardless. So if something happens that you're worried would impact your internship or impact your academics when you come back, we can absolutely help figure that out, right? So the idea is that if you disclose to us, we're not sending you across the university to disclose to 2, 3, 4, 5 other offices. We will take the information we need and with your consent, coordinate what needs to be coordinated. So same if you speak to Jade or other people on her team, if they need to bring us in with your consent, they will do that without you having to talk to us directly if you don't wish to. And then there are also specific rights and protections that exist for interns who are in Quebec or whose companies they are interning with. So even if they're interning abroad, if the company is based in Quebec, it would apply to them. And I'm saying it's specific to Quebec because it falls under labor laws, and that is province specific. So essentially in Quebec, interns are considered staff in terms of the rights that they have. So that is the right to be free of harassment, including sexual harassment in a workplace, the resources that you would have access if something happens. So we could always help navigate that and explain that. There is a hyperlink to the act in question because it includes extra rights. So if for family reasons, somebody's sick, anything else that's going on, you have right to certain days off as well. So I just put the link there in case there are situations that might apply to you or you're curious might apply to you. You're welcome to go have a look. If you can continue to the next slide. So I know I've been talking about sexual violence and gender-based violence. It is a very broad term. It is an umbrella term, so it's a continuum of psychological and physical actions of a sexual nature. It can be threatened, attempted, or committed without your consent. Important to note that it can be directed toward a person's sexual orientation, sexual or gender expression, or gender identity. So something to keep in mind, again, if you're abroad and there's a situation that is hard to navigate, you're welcome to contact us and we have a space for you to talk about that and figure it out. Because the laws and social norms will be different everywhere, it might be a bit of a shock. If ever you're uncertain if something fits in this category, but you're uncomfortable, you're also welcome to call us. We will meet with you. You don't need to have figured it out ahead of time. So in this slide, we have a way to book an appointment with us. There's an online link to do that. Sometimes, so we have meetings virtually. It can be by phone as well if you're not in Montreal. But if you don't find a time, please email us because I know with different time zones, it might be a bit more complicated. I also want to just plant a seed for when you're all back for next year. We are recruiting peer educators, so volunteers with our team. So if you're interested in awareness raising, creating events on campus, we would love to have you on our team. And if you're already in different student groups and you would like to collaborate with us, we would love that too. We have 2 new education advisors who have recently joined. So Omeni, who is on this call somewhere, I can't see people, and Maureen. So we would love to have you connect with them. So I'm just putting that out there. Otherwise, I wish you all the best with your internships. Thank you, Jade.
Thank you so much. All right. So once again, all the resources are available. We also have a check-in happening on June 10th. That's virtual from 12 to 1 on Zoom. The link to register is also on the handbook. Again, this is completely optional. This is just a space for students to come and share some of their challenges and meet with other students and with our staff, and to reflect on the main challenges that came up till this point. We'll also share the main challenges that were shared through the 1-month reports as like confidentially, but just like the main topics that come back, or again, topics that come back. Usually we don't even have to edit the slide because they're always very similar in terms of the workload being too high, too low, or again, certain expectations. So again, everything that led up to this moment. But once again, it's just another opportunity for you to share if anything is coming up, or again, if you're just feeling lonely and want to connect with other interns. It's virtual so that it's accessible to everybody. But once again, many opportunities to check in with us or other offices across campus. But please let us know if there are anything happening with your internships. So through your 1-month report. I just wanted to mention also, if you have something confidential you want to share, I don't recommend doing that through the virtual call because there will be other people. But you can always email us and we can set up a one-on-one call as well. And once again, don't wait till it's too late. Nothing is too small. And please share with us. Again, I named a few examples of situations that might seem very small, but down the line that could grow into something bigger. And once again, communication, super important. Don't wait till it's too late. After your internship, so I know that seems really far, but since we won't see you until then, just to quickly mention, if you are an award recipient, you do have to complete the final reports. As Paulina was mentioning, those are really important, and donors do read them. So we asked for some high resolution pictures and a beautiful report. There are very detailed guidelines on the handbook, but if you have any questions, let us know. Just to clarify the deadline for that report, it's 2 weeks after the end of your internship if it ends before August 16th, or August 16th if it ends around August 16th or after. So your internship should not go beyond August 31st, but if it ends between the 16th and the 31st, please make sure you have it in before the 16th. The reason for that we have a hard deadline is because we turn these reports into the stewardship reports that we send to the donors. And it's very important that it takes a lot of work on our end, so we need to have a bit of time before school starts to edit those reports. So please send them. And also on your end, it's much better to have it done before school starts. So again, the deadline, if your internship finishes in July, then you have 2 weeks after your internship end date. But again, if you end after the 16th, to keep in mind, hopefully that's clear. The completion letter, however, that is for every single person. As I mentioned earlier, if you're getting any type of recognition, it is conditional to the letter of completion. And that's 2 weeks after the internship for everybody. So if you're an award recipient, you might have to send your report on the 16th. And then if you finish the internship a bit later, then you can wait till 2 weeks after the actual end date of your internship, because it doesn't make sense to set a completion letter if you haven't actually completed the internship. I guess I'll mention also, if ever you want to extend your internship after August 31st, it would have to be done independently of the university. So we're not able to sanction any opportunity that goes beyond the school start date, which is August 31st. So sometimes, organizations, things are growing really well. They want you to stay involved. They might offer you. We don't have any funding for internships during the school year. So just to keep in mind, it would be a separate opportunity, and you would have to negotiate that directly with the organization. So again, everything should be done by August 31st. Once again, if that happens, email us. And then the debriefing session. So hopefully we'll see you all in the Thompson House on September 11th. That's for everybody, and it's really an opportunity to reflect on your internship. You'll have an opportunity to send your feedback survey. And also we have links in the handbook to join the alumni network group on LinkedIn, where we have, again, the 20 plus years of interns all there. So it's a great opportunity to network with other past interns. Also, as an intern through AIO, you can become an AMI mentor. So maybe some of you were a mentee, but now you are able to become a mentor and support faculty of our students who are interested in pursuing an internship in summer 2027. The registration for that will open at the end of August, early September. So we'll be in touch about that. And just to mention the Faculty of Arts Showcase, we used to have 2 events, the annual event in September and then our research event in October. And now we're merging everything with a bigger event for the whole Faculty of Arts. We don't have the dates or the details settled yet, but we'll be in touch about that. And that's one of the opportunities you'll have to be a speaker and to share about your opportunity. So again, as of September, you'll have many opportunities to share. Once again, everything that we mentioned today is summarized in the handbook in the checklist. There is one for award recipients and one for non-award recipients, so make sure to go through that. Again, we try to give you all the dates so that you can keep track of all the deadlines, but obviously, once again, depending on your internship start date and end dates, please calculate your own deadlines and try to stay on top of them, to make sure that you submit all your requirements on time.